Hey guys, welcome to Stonell's Woodshop. This will be the first video to the channel, and today we're going to be making a wooden flag, a firefighter version that I hand carve the stars in. I will be going over a quick version and process on how I make these. Thanks for watching. To start off, I have a 1x10x12. Normally you would buy a 1x10x10, but I like getting a nicer quality pine and they only sell it in this size, so I will be ripping these down to 36 inches 3 times. And now I will be going over to the table saw and setting everything to 1.5 inches wide. I will be ripping as many strips as I can get. This will make the entire flag and also the back supports that we'll be going over later. As you can see, very simple process, just getting everything milled up. When you are done, you should have 13 strips as seen in the picture coming up, and that'll be the official size of the flag. So moving on, this is everything laid out and I am getting prepped for the burn. So we will be laying everything out as you see here, and I will be going over a nice medium burn. I would say it's a completely preference thing. I like it this way. You could do lighter, you could do more. And now we are moving on to me staining. For the firefighter version, you will have a black stain and 1 strip stain red. So we'll go through this process. I will be getting the ends, so just in case if anything moves a little bit over time, it will still look very good. So with everything laid out, you should have on the 8th line a red strip and every other black. Quick tip here, to finish the union to get the black a perfect square per se, we are going to do a razor blade trick. You need a stencil. We make these in-house. If anybody is interested, I plan on opening an Etsy shop to sell plans, stencils, and small projects. Let me know if you're interested in that. So as we're looking at here, you tap in 3 razor blades, just enough to pierce the top grain, and you're going to stain up to the razor. It is going to make a crisp line and finish the union so everything looks nice and square. So give that a minute, let it dry up, and then pull the razor blades out, and that should be set to go. So pretty much here, you're going to flip and mirror the entire flag over. I squared up the edge the best I can, just use your judgment. And the remaining supports that you are left over, you cut them on the miter saw to size, and I am air nailing in 4 supports on the back. Evenly spaced apart, just measure and leave a little bit of room in the middle. We'll go over how I mount the flag later in the video. So now what you see here is if you want to continue any more burning, if you're not happy or it's a little uneven, you can quickly go over it, and that's that. So here's the stencil I'm talking about. Right now I have it lined up to the union and I'm tracing out all the stars. This is the longest and most tedious part of the entire process. I like hand carving stars. A lot of my customers like that. Especially with CNC costs being so much money, this is the most affordable way. I'm using a Dremel with an attachment for carving. It looks like a long wand that you hang above your head. I will link everything in the description so you guys can see what I'm using. Right here, we're going through all the stars and making an outline first. Like I said, this takes quite a while, so enjoy the montage. Here we are now carving out the middle. There's different size carving bits. I usually up the size once I'm done doing a fine point. I don't have the steadiest hand, so this takes me a little bit longer than maybe some people. I go over all of the stars and then go back and clean up any edges or any imperfections that I am not happy with. Right here you can kind of see how they look full, and I'm just going to let this roll out until the next part of the process. Right here you can see I put the thinnest carving bit size they have, which I think is a 105, and I am going over any rounded points. I'm trying to make them as fine as I can, and that's that. Now we are going over with a light burn to kind of give the stars a little bit more depth, and it cleans them up nice. Preference again, whatever you guys want to do, that's great. Something I like to do is burn the corners. It's just something I have a little touch on. A lot of people seem to like it, so I kind of just go around and clean up the corners, and that you could see the stars being finalized and the corners being burnt. I like to finish the back of all my flags. It gives it a little extra taste. And then here you're going to see how I hang them. It's just a piece of cord, and I use screws and washers to hang it. Use your judgment, level it out, and that'll finish that. Here is where we're at in the phase. The flag is pretty much finished, and now I'm been testing this triple thick polyurethane. It's water based, it dries a little bit faster, it looks intimidating. I've liked it so far on these. It lays a thicker coat on, you just have to work a little bit faster. Again, take your time with this. everything will go just fine. Just work it nice and straight down each line, make sure you have even coverage, and it should be a-okay. Moving on to the transition, we had a little fun with this. It's wet at the moment and it turns dry immediately. Too bad that wasn't for real time. So once the first coat is done, we're gonna hand sand with a high grit really fast, and I'm gonna wipe all the dust off with a cloth. You don't wanna take too much off, just the high spots and some, if there is any bubbling or rough patches, and we're gonna go right into the second coat. Usually the first coat takes about an hour to dry, depending on temperature and conditions. Now I'm putting on a little bit heavier coat to absorb into the other. Polyurethane is a self-absorbing bond, so when you start applying the second coat, they kind of melt into each other, so everything will auto-correct if there is little imperfections here and there. So evenly, I'm just spreading everything on, getting a nice even coverage, and then again, we are just gonna let it roll out and wait for the second coat to dry and see how we make out. It's nice, you could see the sheen is way heavier here, and then after some dry time, that looks way nicer. Alrighty guys, we're at the end of the project. I'm very happy how the finish came out, and we have another happy local customer. Satin's been very popular. You can do high gloss also, it's personal preference. The hardest part of the project, guys, is, you know, doing the stars. I like to do them by hand, they take the most time. Any of you guys, you have some tools, you get a stencil, get a Dremel, you can make it happen. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If you want to comment, like, and subscribe, that'd be awesome. I plan on doing a very custom music producer slash computer desk in the very near future. One of a kind, in my opinion. I haven't seen anybody else make something like this, so stay tuned for that. I'm very excited to keep moving forward with the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.